Excerpt from Emelya and the Pike, adapted by Catherine Follett and Anne Whale. Act 1. Characters. Narrator, Emelya, Pike, Wife 1, Wife 2, Officer, Tsar, Marya. Narrator. Once upon a time there lived 3 brothers. The first 2 were hard-working men, but the third, Emelya, was as lazy as the day is long. All winter long he sat on the warming bench next to the stove. The wives of the hard-working brothers tried to get Emelya to help out, but he would only do chores if they promised him presents. Wife 1. Emelya, would you please go fetch some water? Emelya, oh, I don't want to. Wife 2. If you do, your brothers will bring you a new red kaftan when they come home. Emelya, all right then. Narrator. Emelya puts on his shabby old kaftan, which is a long winter cloak, and takes 2 pails and an axe to the river. He chops a hole in the ice with his axe, dips his buckets into the water, and is about to leave when he notices a big pike swimming around the hole he's made in the ice. Emelya reaches down and snatches the pike. Emelya, gotcha! We'll have a fine fish stew tonight. Pike, let me go, Emelya, and I'll give you anything you want. Emelya, prove it and I'll let you go. Pike, say the words, Pike, Pike, do what I like, and it shall be done. Emelya, I suppose I can give it a try. Pike, Pike, do what I like. Make my buckets full of water to go home by themselves. Narrator. Without spilling a drop, the full pails begin to march toward home. Emelya is delighted. He releases the pike and rushes home to his warm stove. He soon finds more uses for the pike's gift. Wife 2. Emelya, please go to the forest and chop some wood. Emelya, I don't feel like it. Wife 1. If you do this, your brothers will bring you a new red kaftan. Emelya, I suppose I'll do it then. Narrator. Emelya brings his axe out to the sled and prepares to go. Wife 2. How are you going to move the sled without hitching up the horses? Emelya, muttering under his breath. Pike, Pike, do as I like. Send the sled into the forest. Narrator. The sled sets off as fast as a rocket. As Emelya roars through town hanging onto the sled, he knocks over wagons, runs over market stalls, and gives people quite a few bumps on the elbow. Once he is in the forest, Emelya commands the axe to chop and stack the wood for him, while he sits comfortably under his kaftan. Then he dashes back through town, making sure to knock over all the wagons, run over all the stalls, and bump all the elbows that he missed the first time through. All that trouble and commotion attracted the attention of the Tsar. The lord of the land sent his officer to command Emelya to come to the palace. Officer, Sir, are you Emelya with the sled that drives itself? Emelya, I am. Officer, the Tsar commands you to come to his palace. Emelya, maybe if the Tsar will give me a new red kaftan when I get there, I'll come to his palace. Officer, well, the Tsar normally doesn't offer gifts to troublemakers, but perhaps I can convince him of this one small thing. Emelya, why don't you travel on ahead and I'll catch up to you? Narrator. The officer leaves the house. Emelya whispers under his breath, Pike, Pike, do as I like. Fly me to the Tsar's palace on my comfortable stove seat. Narrator. With that, the stove rips right off the wall, up through the roof of the house and across the sky, carrying Emelya with it. He doesn't have to move an inch, and even in the cold wind, he is as warm as toast. Emelya. I wish I'd thought of this when I went out to chop the wood. Number 1, Part A. What inference can be made about Emelya? A. He is kind to let the pike go free. B. He is so lazy that he won't do anything his brother's wives ask him to do. C. He only thinks about himself and doesn't care about the trouble he is causing. D. He is greedy and wants all the kaftans and stoves for himself. Part B. Which lines from the passage best support your answer in Part A? Choose 2. A. He releases the pike and rushes home to his warm stove. B. Wife 2. Emelya, please go to the forest and chop some wood. Emelya, I don't feel like it. C. Wife 1. If you do this, your brothers will bring you a new red caftan. Emelya, I suppose I'll do it then. D. As Emelya roars through the town hanging onto the sled, he knocks over wagons, runs over market stalls, and gives people quite a few bumps on the elbow. E. Then he dashes back through the town, making sure to knock over the wagons, run over all the stalls, and bump all the elbows that he missed the first time through. Number 2. Read the lines. Then he dashes back through town, making sure to knock over all the wagons, run over all the stalls, and bump all the elbows that he missed the first time through. All that trouble and commotion attracted the attention of the Tsar. What does the word commotion most likely mean? A. Disorder. B. Fun. C. Laziness. D. Sledding. Number 3. Part A. Which statement best provides a conclusion that can be drawn about the author's point of view? A. The author believes you should always do what you are asked. B. The author does not think it is right to take the easy way out. C. The author thinks you should be kind to others in order to get something in return. D. The author believes men should have to listen to their brothers' wives. Number 4. Part B. Underline the lines from the text that best support your answer in Part A. Officer, the Tsar commands you to come to his palace. Emelya, maybe if the Tsar will give me a new red caftan when I get there, I'll come to his palace. Officer, well, the Tsar normally doesn't offer gifts to troublemakers, but perhaps I can convince him of this one small thing. Emelya, why don't you travel on ahead and I'll catch up with you? Narrator, the officer leaves the house. Emelya, whispering under his breath, Pike, Pike, do as I like. Fly me to the Tsar's palace on my comfortable stove seat. Narrator, with that, the stove rips right off the wall, up through the roof of the house, and across the sky, carrying Emelya with it. He doesn't have to move an inch, and even in the cold wind, he is as warm as toast. Emelya, I wish I'd thought of this when I went out to chop the wood. Number 5. What is the first wish Emelya asks of the pike? A. To make fish stew. B. To fill buckets of water. C. To bring water home. D. To chop wood.